I would like to turn or translate insight into action. Like I said, I'm going to keep it very simple. 4 points to translate insight into action. And they are: number one, clarity; number two, perception; number three, action; and number four, perseverance. Let us get in detail of each. What do I mean by it? So, translating insight into action, you need clarity, you need perception, you need action, and you need perseverance. That's it. What do I mean by clarity? When I ask someone, what is more important to you, whether clarity or a confidence, should leader have a confidence or leader should have a clarity? Which one will you weigh more? Well, invariably, now that I'm going to speak about clarity, you may answer clarity. But if you ask this question otherwise, most of them say that I would choose confidence. But trust me, clarity is more important than confidence. Let me give an example. A person full of confidence in driving drives a car. Maybe he can drive car fast, but he doesn't have a clarity of the direction where he wants to go. Well, he will drive fast, but probably will never reach the destination. But at the same time, somebody else has a clarity. He knows where he wants to go. Maybe he doesn't have the same confidence like another person, but he has a clarity. He may go a little slow, but for sure, he will reach the destination. So from leadership perspective, clarity is more important than confidence. I personally believe that confidence gives courage, but clarity gives direction. And that is very, very important for any leader. If you're seeking any action and insight, you want to break up that. Or I would say clarity creates confidence for sure. For sure. There's no two ways about it. Very, very rightly said by Sadhguru. Just listening before we started this session, who's my guru too. And when we talk about clarity, he defines it so beautifully. Seeing things the way they are, seeing everything the way it is clarity. What it's trying to tell is that invariably, when we are looking at the things, the situation, the person, or anything, we use a lot of filters of bias, fears of preferences, filters of prejudice, fears of likes, dislike. And when we use something like this, the clarity can never come. The clarity can only come if you are looking at the things the way they are. Well, I'm not going to details, but in one of the sessions with Sadhguru, I have experienced this. What does it mean? Looking at the things the way they are. And this is the best way of understanding what clarity is. Let me give you one more example. A person went into the forest, moving around, he lost his way to come out. He was running helter-skelter, but not finding the way out. While running, he saw an old man sitting under the tree. He goes and asks the old man that, "Hey, I am lost. Can you show me the way out?" The old man, the wise man, looked at him and said, "Can you see that small hill in front of you? Just go and climb on top and you'll get your answer." The person ran up the hill. With little time, he reached on the top, and no sooner he was on the top, he could very clearly see where is the exit. He could very clearly see from where did he come, and everything was so clear. So when the clarity is there, what does the leader do? Or who's the leader of this kind? I always say, leader is the one sitting on the high perch. A leader with the clarity is somebody sitting on the high perch where he can see everything which others cannot see. It is here he's going to get the clarity. It is here he's going to get a clarity to explore the various possibilities. When he's sitting on the high perch, he can see the challenges and he can probably see how he can overcome it. It's only clarity that's going to give a reply or answer to it. Many leaders are running fast, but in wrong direction. It is the clarity that will teach them what is it means and what does it mean that, yes, running in wrong direction, they're going to achieve nothing. So clarity, if I have to put it in equation form, I personally feel clarity is equal to clear thinking plus clear priorities plus clear communication. The combination of these three gives the clarity to a leader. Clarity is not optional, it is absolutely critical. More information is not equal to better clarity. In today's world, every individual is so heavily loaded with information that probably there is nothing but confusion. It is the clarity which is very critical for any leader. Any leader. A leader with clarity knows the goal, knows the priorities, and more importantly, knows what to ignore. This can only come if the clarity is there. Only the person with clarity, a leader with clarity, will know what to ignore when he's trying to accomplish his goals. Like it says, 3 simple steps. Know your goals, know your action plans, and know how to communicate. When talking about action plan, something beautiful has been said, and that is knowing what not to do is very much part of planning. I repeat, knowing what not to do is very much part of planning, and only a person with the clarity will know what not to do. Further, it says that clarity is not about doing more, it is about doing what matters. Now imagine any leader having this kind of clarity. How can he not succeed? How can he not accomplish his goals? How can he not make his plans the way it is required? How can he not communicate the way it's required to communicate? And that is the power of clarity. Moving further, let us move to the second element, and that is perception. Well, perception can be seen from many perspectives. Like, for example, when I ask a person that why does a car have a brake? It has an accelerator, it has a brake, but why does a car have a brake? And most of the time, the answer is to safeguard us, to avoid an accident to take place. Probably we will not get killed if the brake is there. And this kind of replies are given from their perception. A leader with an enhanced perception or an advanced perception would probably say that the brake in the car is provided so that we can drive the car faster. Just think about it. The brake in the car is so that I can drive the car faster because I know my car has a brake, and if required, I can use it. Now, this is what we call about enhanced perception. Well, a leader must enhance the perception, but here, when I'm talking about Lions leadership edge, I'm not talking perception from that perspective. I want to give a different perspective altogether for this perception. I'm talking about how does you as a leader, how do other people perceive you? How does other people, or if you're a line leader, how does the lines of your district perceive you? How do you perceive yourself? Do they perceive you in a similar fashion? That is what the perception is important when you're talking about leadership edge. How you see yourself, how others see you. If others are seeing the way you're going to see yourself, then only and then you become a personal brand. It's so important for a leader. We do not pay attention to this. Once we are in the hierarchy, in the higher position, we think that we are this. But do other people perceive the similar fashion? And the efforts are to be made to see to it that how you perceive, others also should perceive the similar fashion. So is there any way of doing it? I'm sure there is. There is. For example, two people, one person seeing 66, one person seeing 99. Now it is upon how from where you are looking at, and both are right in their own perception. Both are right in their perception. But the thing is, perception is not about what you say, it is how people experience you. Just think about it. Perception is not about what you say, it is how people experience you. Or if I put it still further, a 2 bucket full of water, one bucket has a very clear water, the second bucket has a dirty water. A piece of white cloth, if you dip it in the clean water, it will come out clean. But the same cloth, if you dip in a bucket which has a dirty water, well, that piece of cloth will come out dirty. The cloth did not change, water did change. Think about it. Think about it. People don't see you as you are, they see you through their perception. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do so that the way you perceive yourself, the way you are, the other person also is going to look in a similar fashion, similar fashion. Mahatma Gandhi, I can recall the example of Mahatma Gandhi, who was a barrister, who used to be suited, booted, who was learned guy when he came to India, and when a freedom struggle was going on. What did he do? He started wearing simple clothes. He wore simple clothes to shape the perception of the people, shape the perception of the countryman, so that people saw him one amongst them. He appeared to be trustworthy because they found him one amongst them, and of course they found him authentic. He tried to do whatever required as a leader to see to it that if I have to get the support of the people, I have to be one amongst them. So in order you are a leader, what are you going to do so that the way you perceive yourself, your followers or your people are going to perceive you the way you look at you? Well, there are ways of doing it. There are ways of doing it. When majority of audience perceives the same image, it transforms into brand. If I talk about Mission 1.5, why is a challenge? Just think about it. The way we perceive organization, do the outside community perceive the similar fashion? If that was true, Mission 1.5 would have been a cakewalk, which is not true. Somewhere something is wrong, where the way we perceive, we say we are the biggest organization, we say we are the largest NGO. Well, I do not know how people perceive us. Where is that gap? Only when the external audience and the internal audience, when they match with each other, the brand is created. So yes, we are a brand to some extent, but still we have not reached where we are supposed to reach. In other words, the perception differs between you and me. So how to enhance your own perception? There are 2-3 ways of doing it. Build self-awareness. Ask how people experience me and seek feedback. That's the only way. You have to know what you are. Your self-awareness has to be created, and then try and understand how people experience you. And for that, you need to ask them, be open. You may be a leader, but seek feedback. And that is going to help you to look at, to help people to look the way you perceive yourself. Or it could be this way. Align intent, words, and action. What you say, what you do, and people experience. In other words, walk your talk. If you say something and do something else, well, probably it's not aligning, and probably there'll be that people are not going to perceive the way you want them to perceive you. Communication with clarity and frequency. Explain the why, not just the what. Repeat key message often. We always talk about what, but in the process we forget why. People will never understand or listen to what. It's only what you believe in and what you're doing about your why. That is where probably their why will resonate with you and some magic may happen. It is, I repeat, explain the why, not just the what. And you have to keep on repeating this message to see to it that what you believe in, what is your why, whether it is resonating with the people, what they look at you, the way they look at you. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do. I mean, very, very, very powerfully said that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And what you do simply proves what you believe in. Think about it, friends. Think about it. This is what Simon Sinek has said, and it's a very popular today in the corporate world, that they started talking about why and not about what follows in what they believe. Master nonverbal communication, if you're talking about perception, your tone, your facial expression, your body language matters a lot. Be visible in right moment whenever there's a crisis, when a recognition or maybe any conflict. You as a leader must be available. You must, as a leader, be available. That is going to enhance the perception. Or deliver small wins consistently. Keep commitment, being in time, following through. These are some of the qualities as a leader you must be practicing it if you want that people should perceive the way you perceive yourself. And that is what the perception is all about. Like very rightly said Warner Buffett, that it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you really think it hard about this, well, you'll do the things differently. You'll do what you're required to do. That is what the perception is all about. Moving to the third point, we talked about, we spoke about clarity and the perception. And the third is action. I want to talk about something different in action, signal versus noise, which has become a talk of the town today. What do I mean by signal and noise? Action in terms of time. What do you mean by signal? Or what things are covered by signal? When I say signal, in terms of time, deep work focused efforts. What you are doing is absolutely focused efforts and your strategic thinking and planning towards all your work during the day or whenever. If you're spending time on this, those are known as signal. Signal is something that whatever you do truly matters towards accomplishing your goal or whatever you want to achieve in life. Noise is what distracts you. For example, in terms of time, scrolling social media all the time, attending meetings with no purpose, or maybe overthinking, multitasking without depth, gossiping, comparison, politics, all this is noise. Ask question to yourself that in a day, what part is signal and what part of the noise you're spending throughout the day? What is that you do which truly matters, which enhances your work? You're working towards your goal. You're working towards how to accomplish your work. That is signal, and all other thing is noise. What percentage in a day you're spending towards signal and towards noise? Signal versus noise. By say, if we talk about district meeting, what would be signals in district meeting, or maybe a club meeting for that matter? Signals would be clear agenda, defined outcome, decision that moves the project forward, identify 2 or 3 priority initiative, or who will do what and when. Or all those are positive things which are contributing towards the district meeting, and they are called signals. And what is noise? Long speeches with no purpose, repeating updates without action. Everyone speaks with no decision taken, and meeting stretches beyond time. Think about it. You know better how much time we spend on signal and how much time we spend on noise in any meeting or talking about any events and programs. Signal would be strong theme with purpose, not just decoration. Audience engagement and learning, time discipline, takeaways for attendees. These are all signals. Where you're doing some function, maybe installation, maybe your district convention, maybe your leadership program. Are you doing something where audience is getting engaged? Are there enough takeaways? Is there any value addition? These are all signals. And noise would be over decoration with no message. Too many chief gets a long introduction, even becoming ceremony instead of impact. How much time is spent in signal and noise? You think about it. If I put this graph like this, on horizontal axis signal, and on vertical, if you have noise, and these are the 4 quadrants. If high signal and high noise is distraction, low signal and high noise, obscurity, unclear. Nothing will happen. Things will never be clear. Low noise and low signal, well, people don't understand. You're murmuring, just murmuring, nothing, no clarity. But high signal and low noise is going to give you clarity. In other words, if you want to accomplish, if you want to be an outstanding leader, it is something to look into, that how much time you're spending on signal and how much time you're giving to noise. If I talk about some famous personalities of the world, for example, here are the 2 personalities. The study says that Steve Jobs spent about 80% signal and 20% noise. And Elon Musk, well, 100% they talk about. I don't know. They say 100% signal, no noise. He doesn't even have dinner without purpose. He'll not go for a lunch without purpose. Whatever he does is only signal, signal, and signal. Maybe that is the reason he is what he is. Think about it. When we talk about time management, we talk about signals and noise. Your routine must be very simple daily. 30 minutes, think about district priorities. One key action, not only for your district routine or your about lionism in your personal life. One key action, move a major initiative forward every single day. Weekly, view top 3 goals. The study says there are always 3 things that are a top priority for anybody. What are yours? Review top 3 goals. Membership, service, leadership. Probably we're talking about lionism. And finally, every month ask, what created maximum impact this month? What was just noise? If we start doing this regularly, probably you will know how much is the noise and how much is the signal and how to improve upon it. But for that, the journaling is important. You need to monitor this. You need to keep a record of this. And that is the way probably you're able to manage time properly or able to take action that is required. moving to the focus on signal over noise. Don't waste time on stuff that doesn't actually make things better. This is what Elon Musk says. This is his secret of success, he says. Moving lastly, and that is perseverance. Perseverance is not a long race. It is many short races, one after another. Walt Elliott said this. 2 examples, you know about it. Thomas Alva Edison, 1,000 times he failed, or maybe how many thousand times, I don't know, he failed. And every time he said that I have learned something new. I don't know how the light will not be discovered. And finally got it. Or for example, a stone cutter. 100 strokes, nothing happens. Maybe at 101st stroke, the rock breaks. This is the result of perseverance. The simple equation I have perseverance is equal to stubbornness plus purpose. You must have a purpose, but be stubborn about it. The method may be flexible, but to achieve that purpose, you will be stubborn about it. And the combination of this, in my opinion, is perseverance. Because God has created this, the creator has created such a way that it goes like this, that everything will be okay in the end. If it is not okay, it is not the end. The creator says that keep working. It is going to end, it's going to end well. And if you remember, this is something like a guru mantra. Everything will be okay in the end. If it is not okay, it is not the end. So I would only say, don't give up. Keep going. In short, leadership turning insight into action, 4 things: clarity, perception, action, and perseverance. On this note, I would say a big thank you to every one of you for your patient hearing. May God bless every one of you.
Thank you, Pankaj Bhai. That was quite an insightful presentation about, how to transform insights into action. And then you made a very wonderful distinction between signal and noise. And then you gave lots of practical real life examples and also narrated quite a lot of stories to convince us of how powerful leaders are made and then what makes real good leadership. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for
so much.
that.
Thank you.
So we have, about 10 to 15 minutes for questions. In case you have any question or comment, you can please raise your virtual hand and we'll invite you to speak.
Please, I would request a question, but that's what I said, keeping it short. I would like to,
before I invite the first question, I would like to know if the Vice President has any comment to make at this point of time.
Sir, please.
Absolutely, with pleasure. And it's difficult, my good friend Pankaj, to make it short, because this was very, very interesting. I took a lot of notes. I took a lot of screenshots, and I will truly use very much of what I learned today in my speeches and in my work and in whatever I will do in the future as a line. I said in the beginning that I was here just as everybody else to learn, and truly, thank you very much. I did learn a lot, and I don't think I will try to go through some important things here, but what I noted is that the 4 topics, clarity, perception, action, and perseverance, are definitely a very good picture of what we need to focus on. And focus is important. I appreciated also the matrix signal and noise. I like matrix to get a very easy picture of what we need to focus on. You know, the Eisenhower, certainly the Eisenhower matrix on what we should focus on when we decide what to do when there's so many tasks coming in. But I just want to mention one thing that President AP, or when he was still Vice President AP, when he talked to the governors, the incoming governors, he told a story about Lord Krishna's talking to Arjuna, talking to archers. And this is from the Mahabharata and probably from the Bhagavad Gita. And the archers were to aim at the eye of a wooden bird. And he was asking all the archers, what do you see? And they all saw the bird, of course. They all saw the eye, but they saw the surrounding as well. And only Arjuna said, when he was asked, what else do you see? He said, nothing. I only see the bird, and I only see the eye of the bird.
Beautiful.
So this is also a very strong story. I may have recollected it wrongly, but this is how I recollected it. And it was a beautiful story on how we can or must focus on what we're doing and not listen to the noise. So thank you very much. Brilliant presentation.
Honored, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your compliments, sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Vice President, for reminding us of that story about focus. And I think it's very popular in India. I don't know if people from outside know that story, but I think it's very well narrated. And then you've really connected it really well. Rajesh Parmar, do you have a question?
Yeah, thank you very much, Naga sir. Pankaj bhai, good evening. Rajesh Parmar from Nagpur.
Yeah,
I have
Rajesh.
got a very, I'll call it to be a bit tricky question. See, first of all, I'm so very happy that you were my first instructor who had given me training of learning Lionism that was long back in a mall seminar. So I'm so very happy with your training. I have reached up to this level. Now, my question is, in leadership, does the politics plays an important role, and how do you create followers?
Sir, I would like to say that we would not entertain this question here related to my topic and ask the question. No problem. Whether politics or this, please, we keep this away on this platform. You can talk to me one-to-one anytime.
Ramesh, do you have a question?
Yeah. I'm audible, sir?
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. It's a very excellent session, sir. And
Thank you.
it's very insightful, the clarity, perception, action, and perception. Now, coming to my question and today topic, what does leadership edge means in lines?
Sorry?
Say it
What
again,
does
please.
what does leadership edge means in Lines International Club?
Leadership
What does leadership
edge.
mean? Leadership,
Edge,
I said,
edge,
when you
yeah.
talk about leadership edge,
Edge.
it is something that a leader comes to a level, kind of things that he goes about, that when we talk about getting, I would not use the word transformation, I would say breakthrough. That would be probably, I would call it the leadership edge. We're talking about alliance. So to achieve this, where you can get an insight about how to go about action, I feel there could be so many things. But looking at the time and whatever it was, I thought these 4 points would be absolutely related to this when you talk about leadership edge. If you want to get a breakthrough as a line or as a leader, and probably if you follow these 4 steps, probably yes, the chances are that yes, you get a breakthrough. Suppose you want to accomplish some goals that you're thinking about as a leader, whatever you are doing in Lionism. Probably if you follow these 4 things, I'm sure you'll be very close in accomplishing what you want. Like for example, somewhere I'd mentioned, we talked about planning. People talk about planning, and I said, knowing what not to do is a very important part of planning. Now, this can only come when clarity and perception goes together. If these two are not together, probably this thought would never come. This thought would never come. How important it is that you should know what I should not be doing it. It's so important it is. So all these videos we're talking about lines that we're talking about something which is beyond just the normal leadership skills. We're talking about something by which you get a breakthrough in what you're trying to do. This is what I had meant, or this is what I understand.
Thank you, Pankaj Bhai. So in case you wish to have that edge of leadership whenever, whatever, wherever you are doing in as a lion, because you asked it to be related to the lion's movement. So, I mean, the simplest equation that Pankaj Bhai has already given us is that you ask yourself how much signal is there in what you are doing and how much noise is there in what you're doing. And reduce the noise level and increase the signal level. And I'm sure you will be successful as a leader. Next question, please. I think your presentation has been very clear, and then everybody has got the 4 points that you made very thoroughly, it seems. HN Singh, do you have a question? HN Singh, you can ask your question.
Yeah, Chan Singh ji.
Yes, sir. How can leaders turn signal into action despite resistance to change? This is a very simple question, sir.
Well, I gave an example, a very classic example of district meeting or a district event. And we saw whatever action you are taking, Is it contributing towards what you're expected to do? It's that simple. Like I said, normally when you talk in a corporate language, always to define what's your job. In that job, what are your 3 priorities? In those 3 priorities, whatever time you're spending, or that 8 or 10 hours that you have, how much time you're spending towards accomplishing these 3 tasks that have been given to you. Those are all signals. Now, if you feel you're spending too much of time otherwise, look into it, how we can improve upon that. That's the only way. There's no other way. How, like give an example, Elon Musk, they say he will not even go for dinner unless there is some agenda. Those 3 priorities, one has to attach to it with him, and then only go for a dinner with that purpose. And he's another extreme. I'm not trying to compare with that. But whatever you do, first of all, you need to have a clarity. What is your role? What is your role at wherever you are, whatever you are? If the role is where the clarity is there about your role, the next will be enhancing your perception. Then and then only after that, how to enhance signal or how to reduce noise will come into place. If first 2 are not clear, you cannot understand signals and noise. Impossible. The
Thank you
clarity
very
and
much.
perceptions are very important.
Great. That's wonderful. I think, simply put, we must know why we are doing what we are doing. I think that's the easiest way we can remember that. Whether you are doing an eye screening camp or a cancer detection program, or inviting new members into your club, or organizing an ordinary meeting of your club members, whatever, you must first know why you are doing that. Ask yourself why. And the more whys you ask yourself, the more successful you can be. Vice President, sir, you
Yes,
can
sir.
speak.
I once heard a wise man in India very clearly summarizing this. He said, "Do less to accomplish more." And I
Wow,
think that
wow,
that
wow.
that is exactly what we're talking about.
Less is more. Less is more.
Good.
Right.
Like less luggage, more comfort. So doing less to achieve more. I think that's a wonderful formula of doing.
Kshitij, any question?
We have another 4 or 5 minutes. We can have 1 or 2 more questions.
Anand.
I just have gratitude, Pankaj Bhai. The way you shared the whole thing really speaks about your wisdom. It actually means that you are not giving us any bookish knowledge. Every word came from your experience, and you always walk the talk. And that is where it really touches to each one of us. I just have gratitude. Thank you, Pankaj Bhai.
Thank you. Thank you. Anand. Thank you
Rajesh
so much.
ji, you have
Honored.
raised your hand, I think. Rajesh Agarwal ji,
Yeah, Rajesh bhai.
you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Pankaj Bhai. As always, we always learn a lot of things from you. You talked about the clarity, or Robert talked about the focus. You see, it is very, I'm just talking as a layman. It is very easy to talk about the being focused and being a clarity, but in ordinary way, and for the ordinary people, it is very difficult. So, can you give me 1 or 2 tips how we can remain focused all the time? Like Robert just said about the Mahabharata, Arjun, all other people were looking the whole thing, environment including, but only Arjuna was looking at a particular eye. Same is the situation with us in our life. So, can you give us a way or path
A
which we should
simple tip
follow?
I'll give you,
Thank you.
Rajesh ji. I know you know everything. You're such a learned man. You're $1 million donor. You know much more than what I know. But I can give you a very simple tip. The thing that, in my opinion, we never do any kind of journaling. We never do this. We only talk about it. If you if you want an answer to what you're trying to tell me, start journaling and you will know what exactly you're doing. Or any one of us. The moment we start, if you want to monitor time, for example, time spent, if you start journaling those things, you'll come to know, oh my God, how much time I'm wasting. How much time I'm wasting in a day. If you go over a week, you'll be shocked. Only if you take a challenge that in 1 week, I'm going to save 1 hour. With that perception, you get deeper into these 4 things. Pick up the things where you want to save 1 hour and start journaling and doing exactly what you are doing. Every half an hour or 1 hour, you're making a note of it, what you have done. Do this for 1 week. Then you'll need nothing to know. You know yourself where what is going wrong and what is good, what is not good. In my opinion, journaling is an answer to your question you're talking to me. In my opinion, this is what it is.
Ms. Ben, your question, please.
So much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, nagaRAJU, and thank you so much, Pankaj. This has been such an insightful session.
Thank
And
you.
I think just listening to you, it shows that your intentions are so pure. You want us all to learn. And I think intention is so important when it comes to success. Intention, in my opinion, overrides success, because you can rob a bank and be successful. But what's the intention behind it? It's a really bad one. So I think your intentions are so pure, and it reflects in the way you are speaking to us. And we feel that authenticity, when you speak to us. So my question
Thank you so
is,
much.
in Lionism, we try to compete with everyone. We think this person has achieved this, so I want to achieve that. And that becomes the intention. So how do you make someone have genuine intention rather than just outward, recognition and praise? And how does that help you in your journey?
Basically, in my opinion, you should stop comparison. It's so easy to say. I know it's so easy to say this. But more you grow, more you will come out of it. I repeat, the more you grow, the more you will come out of it. I would only suggest that reading the right kind of stuff in life will pull you out. I don't know whether you were present just before we started the session and we were listening to Sadhguru. Like when you listen to people like him and you start understanding what is inclusiveness in real sense. Like just to answer your question, you'll get my answer. About 15, 20 years back, Vice President, I used to question myself to serve or not to serve. I was asking this question to myself. The thing that was going on in my mind that time was that if a child is hungry in a house and mother feeds the child, is that a service activity? No. Mother has to feed the child. There's nothing. It's a job. But if a neighbor is dying of hunger and you go and give 1 square meal and you keep on talking about, I did hunger project today. No, look at it. To serve or not to serve. The moment if that family becomes a part of you and now you're feeding that family, now it is no more a service activity. It is a part of life that I have to give. That is what the magic of inclusiveness has. When you're talking about competing, comparison, those kind of then prejudice, then the jealousy, all this comes because we are lacking this. We are lacking this, what we call as inclusiveness. The moment you start looking at your potential, you start looking at yourself, what you're capable of doing it. There are ample of opportunity, endless opportunity in life. Probably slow. It takes time, but you'll start overcoming this. But only way is to keep yourself busy reading the right stuff. All that positive thing has to keep on going inside. And slowly it will start occupying yourself and probably some magic will happen. It is not a single line answer to what you're asking a question. It's only somebody has to experience him or herself to know what is right and what is not right. But if you start practicing, it is possible. It is possible.
Thank you very much. That's a very detailed answer to that question, quite convincing. So finally, I just would like to summarize and tell you that, I mean, transforming insight into action is not a one-step process, but it's a very well thought over, structured strategy that we need with clarity, with appropriate perception, by reducing the noise and by going through all those stages so we can convert our insights into action. Thank you very much, Pankajji. So we close here, and then I just would like to tell you that the next presentation on, I think you can see it on screen here. So it's on 3rd September. So the next fortnight, as you all are aware already, SkillUP sessions happen every alternate Thursday, every 14 days. So the next session is on 3rd September, and this is going to be made by LCIP, our popular friend Anand Mehta ji. And his topic has been announced, but I've deliberately kept it undeclared. So I will let you know when I share the flyer with you. And we are going to have another international vice president with us as chief guest that day. I forgot telling you when I began the session that the only chief guest that we had earlier for any SkillUP session was past International President Patty Hill, but she had sent a recorded version that day. So today, for the first time, we had a chief guest from outside ISAME as our chief guest. So we are doubly grateful to our International Vice President Robert Reddy. And next year, next fortnight, we are going to have second Vice President Tony Benbow as our chief guest. So I invite Anand Mehtaji to propose a formal vote of thanks and also invite all of us to this session next week. What right? Anandji.
Thank you, nagaRAJU. Thank you, nagaRAJU. I think 4 words makes a big, big, big difference. Clarity, perception, action, perseverance. Thank you, Lion Pankaj Mehta ji, our beloved past international director. Every word you spoke have touched our heart and have given us tremendous amount of way forward. I feel last 1 hour and 13 minutes were signal, and we did not find any noise in last 1 hour and 30 minutes. Thanks to each one of you. Special thanks to Lion Pankaj Mehta. To Lion Robert Redby, what I want to say is, Texo Migate. Thank you very, very much for being here.
That's effectively Swedish, and I'm happy to hear that from India. Thank you so much.
Your presence really made a big difference, especially when you spoke about your life, when you spoke about your journey, which is so inspirational. We all talk about leadership, but when we see a living legend, a leader in form of you, we feel extremely inspired. Thank you for coming to ISAME SkillUP very, very much. Thank you very, very much. Thanks to Lion Raju Narsima for sharing those 3 valuable minutes and giving those small, small words of wisdom. A huge thanks to the creator, the innovator, person who has continuously with great perseverance have been doing SkillUP, none other than my dear, dear, dear friend nagaRAJU. nagaRAJU, each time we see you on screen, we feel happy. We feel, hey, great things are coming up because it's nagaRAJU on the screen. Thank you for always being so inspiring and always with great dedication making this happen. And last but definitely not the least, a big thanks to each one of you for being a participant of a great scale. Each time you join in, you show your commitment towards leadership. You express your willingness to learn and then lead and grow. At the end, what I really want to share is the leadership is art of getting someone else do something. The leadership is art of getting someone else do something you want because he or she wants to do it. That's how the whole influencing leadership works. And that's going to be the next session called the Influence Code. I'm going to invite each one of you to be part of the next session where I'm super thrilled and excited to share my words of wisdom on the Influence Code. Thank you very, very much. Have a good night and have a wonderful night and dreams ahead. Thank you. Over to nagaRAJU.
Thank you very much, Anand. I'm sure the next session is going to be equally exciting, equally knowledgeable, full of knowledge, and then insights into, I think, things relating to. I mean, maybe I don't know if I made a mention of this. All these sessions relate to life skills, soft skills, leadership skills, and some of them, very few of them, directly relate to Lionism. That's why I think every one of these sessions benefit all of us, and continue attending them and continue promoting them, continue inviting others also to join us. And we have huge scope to invite many, many, many more people. So please pass on my messages to other people in your districts. Thank you very much once again. Good night, everybody. The program ends here. 10:15 is the time when it's supposed to close, and 10:16 is the time now. So we are late by 1 minute. So thank you very much for joining us. And then, of course, I'll keep this window open for a few minutes, and I'll allow you to unmute yourselves in case you want to stay back and say hello to each other.